The letters went out last month, and what they demand is hard to believe. LSL Instruments is a small, family-run guitar shop in California that makes fewer than 500 guitars a year. They just received a letter from Fender's lawyers ordering them to stop making S-style guitars, recall everyone sold into Europe, destroy remaining inventory, and hand over years of sales data. Stop, recall, destroy. The ruling Fender is using has one problem nobody at the company wants to talk about. They won it in Germany against a counterfeiter selling €62 Stratocaster copies on AliExpress. The defendant never showed up. Nobody argued the other side. A default judgment. Fender is now using it like a loaded weapon against legitimate American builders. But here's the part Fender is hoping you do not find out about. The same lawyer who already beat them in the biggest intellectual property fight this industry has ever seen just sent them a letter. And what he found inside their own case may end this before it starts. Even if you have never owned an S-style guitar, this lands on you. This is about what you are allowed to buy. That letter arrived at LSL Instruments around May 2026. The authority behind it traces to a courtroom in Dusseldorf, Germany. Back in December 2025, Fender filed against a Chinese manufacturer, Yiwu Philharmonic Musical Instruments, selling near identical Strat copies through AliExpress for about €62. Fender bought one as a test purchase and filed suit. The defendant never appeared. Yiwu did not send a lawyer. They simply did not show. So Fender won, not because anyone weighed the arguments, but because no one showed up to make them. The ruling declared the Stratocaster body a copyrighted work of applied art under German and EU law, and Fender's law firm, Bird & Bird, used it to send letters to builders on 2 continents demanding they halt production, recall EU stock, destroy inventory, surrender sales records, and cover Fender's legal costs. That is the weapon. But here's what it is built on. To understand why this is a betrayal, you have to know what Leo Fender actually built and what he never claimed. Leo was born in 1909 in a barn between Anaheim and Fullerton. His parents grew oranges. He grew up obsessed with electronics, not music. He never played guitar. He opened a radio repair shop in Fullerton in 1938 and spent his days listening to the musicians who came in. In 1954, working with designer Freddie Tavares, guitarist Bill Carson, and engineer George Fullerton, Leo introduced the Stratocaster, the contoured double cutaway body that became the most imitated guitar shape in history. He never tried to lock it down. He watched the world copy it for decades. The only thing Leo ever protected was the headstock. That's documented. That was the line. He sold to CBS in 1965 and walked away. He died in 1991. He never sought copyright on the body. Leo never tried to own the shape he built. The people running his company today are acting like he did. And here's the part of this history Fender is hoping you forgot. In the early 2000s, Fender tried to trademark the Stratocaster, Telecaster, and precision bass body shapes in the United States. A coalition of over a dozen manufacturers, ESP, Schecter, Spectre, Peavey, Sadowski, Warmoth, Lackland, and others, organized to fight them. 5 years of litigation. In 2009, the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board ruled against Fender. They called the Stratocaster body generic. The exact language read that the design is so common that it is depicted as a generic electric guitar in a dictionary. In the largest guitar market in the world, a court ruled the S-shape belongs to everyone. The attorney who organized that coalition was Ron Beanstalk. He won. And there's something buried inside that 2009 ruling, something Fender apparently forgot to mention in a German courtroom 17 years later. Hit subscribe, because the next part is where it stops being a letter and starts being a war. Now picture it from the bench. You hand build fewer than 500 guitars a year. Your shop is family run. the kind of place where luthiers know every instrument by name before it ships. One of your staff used to build at Fender's own custom shop. Then a letter arrives from a London law firm citing a German ruling against a counterfeiter you have never heard of, ordering you to stop, recall, and destroy inventory, with fines of up to 250,000 euros per infringement under EU law. That is what happened to LSL. Johnny Miller launched a GoFundMe. The community raised $50,000. A small American shop crowdfunding to defend its legal right to build a guitar shape that a U.S. court already called public domain. These are not the counterfeiters. These are the builders who kept the Strat alive when Fender was not watching. Remember what I said at the top about the lawyer and what he found inside Fender's own case? Here it is. Ron Beanstalk is back. Retained by at least one cease and desist recipient, his firm Fox Rothschild submitted a formal response to Bird and Bird, and Guitar World obtained a redacted copy. Two arguments, both damaging. First, Fender is presenting the Dusseldorf ruling as binding legal precedent. It isn't. A default judgment in one German regional court carries no authority in the United States. None. Second, and this is worse, Beanstalk's response alleges Fender failed to disclose its prior United States defeat to the German court. The 2009 ruling that declared the Strat generic in the largest guitar market in the world was apparently never mentioned in Dusseldorf. Fender also told the German court the Stratocaster was designed solely by Leo Fender, a requirement under European Union copyright law, which demands a single author. But Fender's own website credits Freddie Tavares, Rex Gallion, Bill Carson, and George Fullerton. If that's a misrepresentation, the ruling that launched this campaign was obtained under false pretenses. The deadline. Fender set, May 25th, came and went. No court filings were announced. The attorney who already beat them once is waiting. So what happens next? Two outcomes, neither clean. If Fender backs down, they have burned legal capital, reputational goodwill, and two major endorsers. Tim Pierce, a session legend with decades of Fender ties, released a video this spring. Fender, if you made better guitars, you would not have to do things like this. He called it brand suicide. Rhett Scholl, another Fender-affiliated YouTuber, told them directly that this is a public relations disaster that will hurt you and haunt you for years. These are not forum comments. These are people with financial reasons to stay quiet who chose not to. If Fender pushes into court and loses, the 2009 TTAB ruling becomes a ceiling. No German default judgment can lift. The guitar world has been here before. In 2019, Gibson's Play Authentic campaign threatened boutique builders over body shapes. They pulled the video after community backlash, apologized, and their chief marketing officer later called it probably my biggest mistake. That playbook is already in circulation, so let's bring it full circle. Leo Fender built the Stratocaster listening to working musicians tell him what they needed. He never played guitar himself. He just made the tool that changed everything. The headstock was his. The body he let the world have. The company carrying his name is now sending lawyers after shops doing exactly what Leo did. A default judgment against a 62 euro counterfeiter is not guitar law. And if Fender takes this into a contested courtroom, the man who already beat them once will be there. Is Fender out of line, or does any brand have the right to fight for its design? Tell me below. Subscribe, because the next move has a deadline of its own, and whoever blinks first is going to define guitar law for the next generation.